Everybody, welcome back. Happy New Year. Here's our first project of 2021, finally free of 2020. We are getting back into our aircraft and our sci-fi and our what ifs, and this is cool. I'm already starting with paint all over my hands. This is actually a commission build. This is one of 3 that I'm doing for someone, and this one should be pretty cool. It's 3 172 scale Macross aircraft. And they're all going to have, they're going to be finished with, we'll say 80s to 90s, all the way up to, modern day U.S. Navy markings. And we're actually still working out exactly what they're going to be. But I wanted to start with this one because this is a model kit I have never seen before. Wave Corporation. This is, there's so many great aircraft in the Macross saga. Just really cool designs. I used to play the Robotech RPG game back when I was younger in junior high, and I just loved looking at all the different things. And this says flashback 2012, so I actually got to look up the history of this kit here. But the VF-4 is one that I honestly haven't seen make a whole lot of appearances in the whole saga of Robotech and Macross. Maybe we need to delve into Southern Cross a little bit, to get there, or Macross Plus, whatever. But this kit is cool. I like this kit. I like it a lot, and you're going to see why as we get into the box. Now, all these kits, by the way, supplied by the customer that commissioned all the builds. So he had this kit sitting around. So, multicolored kits, and you know what? This nose is great because this is such a a 1980s, radome tan kind of color nose for F-14s or F-18s. We've got lots of nice, bright white pieces that are just great for painting and everything. We've got our decals, which, if you want to do a Jolly Rogers theme, they come with some nice decals to begin with. But let's get everything out of the bag and everything out of the box and take a look at what comes in this kit. We'll start with the instructions, actually, because you have what I think is either a CGI image or it could just be a nicely, photoshopped picture of the actual model. And here we have actual photos of the actual model finished on the back page with the painting instructions, which mean nothing to us. By the way, everything here is in Japanese, so, with a few scattered words. So, thankfully, that if we were going to do it exactly as the instructions show, they have all these nice pictures, because I don't understand hardly any of this. I'm not even sure, to tell you the truth, what paint callouts these are for what paint system. I don't know. That says Mr. There's a Mr. So perhaps that's Mr. Color, but I don't know. The instructions going through are fairly common line drawings. Detailed enough to get it done. They look pretty good, as we go through the kit. Again, there are some instructions in Japanese that I'm just not familiar with. I'm not sure, but I don't think that's going to affect construction. I think that we can get this all done. Now, these paint callouts, again, since we're doing this like a Navy fighter, we're going to use our own colors anyway. It would be great, though, if we did know what those actual colors were. Now, if you've built enough Macross aircraft, you could probably figure that out anyway. We're going to be building these wheels up. I'm going to also make some custom wooden flight bases for these all when we're done. Not a lot of steps. There's actually 25 steps, but a lot of the steps just have a few little pieces that go with it. So, not too bad. I'm also, according to the deal we struck, I'm going to go through my Hasegawa 172 scale weapons and see if I can, just what fits. It's kind of hard with these planes before they're done to say we're going to stick this weapon here and there. I kind of got to figure out where we can rationally place modern day weapons on these things. I'm sure we can put a Sidewinder or an AMRAAM or a bomb somewhere, but we got to figure it out once it's built before we get to painting and everything. So it doesn't look too complicated putting this all together. I think that the choices of colors with the different colored plastics is nice. Like I know that this canopy frame is actually one of the darker colored plastics, which is nice because it fits inside there. Stuff like that, little details like that are really nice. But So it looks like we're basically putting together a fuselage section, a forward nose section, engine nacelles, wings, and putting that all together in the end. These decals look really nice. They're all in register. They look really well done. I don't know how old the kit is, and I don't know how well these decals are going to hold up, and I don't really know how many of them we're going to use. Like, these jet intake markings are great. They're perfectly sized for the intakes. They would work for an F-14 or an F-18, so we can use them no problem. And a lot of these, you know, they're very nice English, you know, language printed. We can use a lot of these, even with a modern military paint scheme. I'm just not sure how many of them we're going to do, but I'll have to do some testing to see, you know, how well these decals hold together in the water. They look really nice, though. This kit itself was released in 2018, with the flashback 2012 actually being a reference to not the original series, but an OVA that was put out, which is basically kind of a bunch of not even full episodes from the original series, but you can look that up. So looking at the sprues, by the way, there was a re-release of this kit in 2019, but we've got some really nice panel lines here. Maybe a little bit deep for this scale, but that's, you know, we're dealing with a sci-fi subject anyway, not a real aircraft. Nice plastic, though. Not flimsy, not too weak. I don't see any big cleanup that's necessary. Now, these, I believe, are engine nacelle parts. Wings are nice and firm. It's not so much texture, but I think with a little surfacer, that'll be perfectly smooth. But again, recessed panel lines. You know, I don't mind them being that deep, because I think that as we're doing layers of paint and weathering, that'll be just fine. And once again, all the sink marks are on non-showing sides. Not hardly any flash to clean up or anything here, which is great. Our main fuselage parts there, really nicely done. You know, these parts are not too thin, so they're not gonna give us problems with snapping or breaking or melting with glue. Fuselage parts, nice. I like this kit overall. Our pilot there has some abnormally long legs, but he's going to be hidden away in our cockpit anyway. And yeah, I'm actually, since these are all going to be in flight, I'm going to be doing the pilots. Actually, so I don't know what's top and bottom. I think this is top. You know, we'll just have to see as it goes along, but this is definitely fuselage bottom. And now all of these landing gear doors are made to be opened, so we'll have to fit them in closed for in-flight. Shouldn't be that difficult to do, but we'll see as we get to it. I mean, typical in this scale and for these kinds of things, there's not too much detail inside the landing gear bay anyway, but now the landing gear are decent for 1/72 scale. We're not going to be using them, but there you go. And lots of different fairings for different joints, I guess. Well, actually, so no, I know that the VF-4 has missile launchers, small missile launchers. I think they go underwing. You know, I'm not really smart on the VF-4 and the whole mythology of the series, but I know it has a series of missile launchers as armament, and that's probably what these little guys are. But we'll figure that out as we go through the build. Now, into our first of the multicolored parts. So here we've got what I'm assuming are engine-related parts, wheels. It's kind of a dark grayish color, metallic-y gray. So wheels, these are definitely engine parts. Inside, what would be the exhaust feet type areas. Some of them made to move. As you can see, they've got little pivot points. Cool. And we've got two of these sprues. Guns? Yeah, guns. They've got large beam cannons in the VF-4, so that's probably what these are. Muzzles for the large beam cannons. And then we'll cut right across here. And now we've got the large single piece nose, which has a small seam. We'll just sand that away. Now, I am wondering though, if we wanted to, use this as a single piece, what cutting, if we want to do it without painting. I have the color Radome Tan, which is not a problem. But if you were just looking to use this, it has a small seam that needs to be sanded here, and then you've got to trim and then sand. I wonder what that would do to the overall look. I guess you could just keep progressively sanding finer and finer till it just had a uniform look, but just thinking ahead. So we've got that. Clear parts are very nice and clear, actually. A little thick, but very nice and clear. And since it's going to be mounted in flight, we're going to have them closed, so it's good. We'll be able to see right into the cockpit of what's going on. Looks like there's a small seam on the windscreen, maybe. We'll take care of that, no problem, but nothing along the main canopy. And then some more dark gray parts, like I mentioned, that canopy, railing, reminds me of the F-16 a little bit there. And some more cockpit parts, seats and stuff like that. So, it looks like, and these could be famous last words, it looks like a relatively simple kit that we will do a lot of enhancing with, weathering and detailing to give it a real U.S. Navy look. I'm really excited to get started with it, though. Just being a kit I've never seen before, from a company I've never worked with before, Wave, it should be really exciting to do. So, first kit of the new year, that's exciting, right? So I'm going to get working on this right away. Decals have not arrived yet, but they will be here. Well, it's the U.S. Postal Service. We have no idea. Decals will be here when they're here. They'll get here eventually. But we have our instrument panel decal, so we can start on the interior, and we can start getting this ready. So, join me for the build for a U.S. Navy VF-4 Lightning III from Macross, from the series. And it should be a whole lot of fun. I welcome your comments, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there who have more info on this particular aircraft than I do, and of course I welcome it. I welcome your comments and your suggestions and any info you want to throw in about the history and life of this aircraft in the world that we're building it. But until the next time where we actually start putting this guy together, for those of you building out in model land, keep building them, build them well, and I'll see you guys as we start this real soon.